March 1944, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The biting desert wind kicks up clouds of red dust. On the horizon, military structures rise against the grey sky. In the center of the complex, a group of officers watches intently. An engineer in an overcoat, his eyes marked by sleepless nights, follows every movement. The colonel shakes his head skeptically. Is this really going to work? It looks more like a lab experiment. The others agree. The engineer remains silent. He knows every detail of the revolutionary technology they have developed, but disbelief is widespread. The test begins and ends in failure. The colonel turns to the team. Go back to conventional weapons. This is a waste of time. The engineer observes the smoking wreckage. Deep down, he knows. The paradigm has changed. Only the top management hasn't realized it yet. What they didn't understand was that, at that moment, they were witnessing the birth of a new era. The journey had begun 5 years earlier, in 1937. While Europe was heading towards the abyss, a small team of visionaries was working in the shadows. In the secret laboratory, the project The Germans Mocked This Plane Until It Did the Unthinkable was taking shape, promising to revolutionize the battlefield. The specifications were impressive: a propulsion system that defied the limits of known physics, surgical precision capable of hitting targets kilometers away, and a structural resistance that seemed impossible for the time. On the drawing boards, it was the ultimate weapon. But they faced a huge obstacle: bureaucracy. The commanders, clinging to traditional doctrines, viewed innovation as a threat. Budgets were cut, deadlines missed, tests sabotaged. The creators asked for funding. The answer was always the same: no budget. Nevertheless, they persisted. Dr. Richardson, the project leader, defended its creation with almost religious fervor. The future will come whether they are prepared or not, he prophesied. This technology will redefine what is possible in warfare. When the first prototype was demonstrated, skepticism was faster than results were obtained. Stability problems, excessive complexity, a series of failures. In the initial trials, it couldn't even complete the most basic tasks. No one could have imagined that this apparent disaster carried the seeds of victory. The world had plunged into total war. The battlefronts were bleeding. The enemy advanced relentlessly. And the new units equipped with the Germans Mocked This Plane Until It Did the Unthinkable received their baptismal order: immediate engagement. Reality, however, had a cruel surprise in store. The technology still carried the same flaws as in the initial tests. Without the necessary adjustments, without the crucial refinements. In its first major battle, the Germans mocked this plane until it did the unthinkable, showed its potential to fail. All systems failed simultaneously. Implementation problems, the superiors tried to justify. New engagement, perfect performance in tests, complete disaster in the field, zero result. The field reports were devastating. Unit inoperable under real-world conditions. Systems collapsed under pressure, unsuitable for combat. Within weeks, dozens of reports confirmed the pattern. Equipment that failed at the critical moment, software that crashed, hardware that couldn't withstand the stress. Commanders sometimes gave up on using the new technology, preferring the comfort of the familiar. The enemy, informed of the failures, openly mocked them. Technology doesn't replace courage, they proclaimed. And for a time they were right, but genius often comes from where you least expect it. In 1944, after countless frustrations, a young lieutenant, Anna Schmidt, a systems specialist, decided to confront the establishment. She rejected conventional explanations. It's not the technology that fails, it's the implementations. Bypassing the chain of command, Schmidt conducted independent analyses. He disassembled entire systems, component by component, like an obsessed watchmaker. And he discovered the hidden truth. The systems were operating 40% below nominal capacity. Human-machine interfaces were counterintuitive, and the maintenance protocols were inadequate for field use. Schmidt sent a report directly to the General Command. Our equipment is being underutilized. We are fighting with our hands tied. The answer was predictable. Established procedures must be followed, stay in line. But the users in the field had already lost patience. They began developing their own solutions, modifying equipment, creating alternative procedures, and sharing discoveries. So in the Battle of Silent Valley, a unit modified there, the Germans mocked this plane, until it did the unthinkable, following Schmidt's suggestions. 11 engagements, 10 conventional tests failed. Picture this, the 11th prototype finally worked. A deafening silence fell over headquarters. The evidence was irrefutable. The problem was never the technology. It was the stubborn resistance to change. The High Command finally caved, issuing a historic order. Review all protocols, adapt the systems to actual needs. What followed became known as the transformation. From 1945 onward, this once mocked technology turned every unit into an unstoppable force. Battle reports sounded like legends. Complete interception of enemy forces, no Allied casualties, operational efficiency, 98%. The same plane the enemy had ridiculed was now feared as the Steel Demon. Its engine's roar became a symphony of victory. The lesson was learned the hard way. Institutional arrogance is more dangerous than any enemy. The technology they almost rejected didn't just win the war, it redefined it. It proved that the future often arrives disguised as a problem.